have to say, at least your hair doesn't look like mine. I don't.
Stop.
Come on. What is going on? Anyway.
Okay.
Hi. We're here.
Hi. Yay.
This is Bachelor season 29, E2. Oh my God. Let's go right in.
Let's go
We
in.
start with this episode, the ladies drinking mimosas.
What is the mimosa thing lately?
When will it stop?
Why are you doing that? What is going on? I know it was the first thing I wrote down. I can't think of the last time I had a mimosa.
Yeah, when was the last time you had a mimosa?
My 30s? I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Okay, I have something to say about Grant, which I brought up last time, and I want to see if you noticed this time, that he doesn't know the plural of woman.
Yes. Yes.
Did you notice this? Okay, I went into a deep dive on TikTok about this.
Oh.
Again, I keep getting sucked into social. This is what's happening. There's a new phenomenon where there's woman and women. And so it's the front of the word that's pronounced most differently, like woe to weh, right? So he's using the plural, but he's saying woman. Do you know what I'm saying? He's using the front part of the word because this is what I found out on TikTok. So he's saying the men part of it, the plural part of it, but he's using the singular for the start of the word.
So obviously a lot of people are noticing this. I mean, if there's a whole TikTok thing about it, then
absolutely,
yeah.
There's a whole TikTok not just about Grant, but about this change that seems to be a cultural change where people are saying woman. So it's woman and woman, and they sound really similar because we're not changing the front of the word.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we can just clock it when you start hearing him say it.
Okay.
Okay, I want to break down this episode, maybe based on the dates, because there was a group date 1, then there was a one-on-one, and then there was a second group date. And we have 3 dates and a rose ceremony in an hour and a half. It's actually a lot got packed into this episode. I mean, they gave us a lot. I mean, it was a lot. I was like, oh my God, we have another date? Like, how am I going to get through this? Do you have anything to say about the opening before we go into the group date?
No, the mimosas. That was it. Okay. Yeah.
I did notice later on that Zoe, at the end of group date 1, I'm getting way ahead of ourselves, but she's drinking a martini, and it's in that cute little glass, and she's got an olive, and I'm like, Zoe, classy, nice girl.
Yeah. Finally. Love it. Yes.
Group date 1, he takes 10 women. Beverly, Serafina, Allie Jo, Natalie, Lisa, Vicky, Chloe, Zoe, Juliana, and Alicia. That is a lot. That is a big date. The good thing is it's big enough to be able to form basketball teams, right? The date card is it's time to shoot your shot, which, I mean, it could be basketball or it could be something else. A little sexual innuendo there, maybe?
Hoping. Who knows? Yes. So I immediately went, dolphin shorts? Does it not look like Natalie's wearing dolphin shorts?
The fashion.
Do you remember those? Okay, I'm older than you.
No, we had dolphin shorts. The like silky ones that were like cut way up the side.
Yes, shorts. They were a thing when I was in high school. So I don't know how old you were, but yeah, those were a thing. And I just wrote down dolphin shorts. Natalie, wow, they're making a comeback.
It's all making a comeback. Now I feel like that things don't really come in or out of style. It's like everything is always sort of there, just depending on what you feel like wearing.
Right.
Zoe has this really funny thing in the beginning where they're talking to the women about how they feel kind of about this basketball date. First of all, Zoe's white outfit, I felt like it was giving us figure skating a little bit.
Yeah, or tennis.
Zoe, or what?
Tennis.
Oh, tennis, for sure. Tennis. Zoe thinks that she's going to dominate because, and I quote, I played basketball in middle school before I switched to wrestling. I mean, those are 2 things where I thought, she mentions this twice. Now she's 27, so she hasn't played basketball in 15 years competitively, one assumes. But then she switched to wrestling?
Yeah. And she doesn't look like the wrestling type.
So they go on this date, they go to a gym, and he introduces their special guest. I already knew it was going to be kids. I was like, who's he going to bring out? How do you feel about a bachelor date with kids? Because they do them like not
Yeah,
every season, but a lot.
they do it a lot. I don't know. I actually do think it's good. I think it's good to see how, if you want to have children, I think it's good to see, although, you know, it's different when it's your own kid usually, but I don't think it's a bad idea. If you want to have kids with this person, I think it's not a bad idea. Did you notice that Atticus and Journey was the name of the girl? And I was like, oh, did they pick her for her name or what's that? Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, because they are into the journey here. I did not see that. I do think
Yes.
it's a I think do think it's a more popular name now, Journey. I know someone whose kid is
I
named
hope not.
Journey.
Mm,
I think it
no.
is, and I think it is.
I-
Atticus too. I didn't see the name
Atticus,
Atticus.
Atticus, I know. I did write, we were talking about, okay, um, all these names, and then at I know we're looking at,
The
okay,
names
what
of the
are some
women.
the names of the women and what are some of the cringe-worthy moments of this episode? And I was like, Chloe with an I. What is that about?
We talked about it last time. It's kind of hard to figure out how to pronounce some of these words, like Chloe with an I,
Yeah.
Serafina, but it's like Fiena. Like it's challenging to
Yeah.
figure that
There's
out.
a
Alicia,
Yes.
Allylshia. So Atticus and Journey seem to be fitting with this group of women.
Yes.
So he wants them to do free throw
Mm.
shots, but only one woman gets it in before Zoe forfeits her turn and takes Grant away. So the women are obviously pissed about this. And they stand by the elevator, and it is taking a long time. And they seem to have like nothing to say to each other. It is so awkward. What did you think about her taking that chance so early on? Some of the women were mad. Would that have been okay with you? How would you feel if you were another woman on this date?
I have a lot of thoughts about this. Okay, so one, how long does it take when they're doing this? Because they're saying like the rest of the date or the free shot was over. So is it because they're pulling producers and cameras and they're not prepared? So we think it's 5 minutes and it's actually 30 to 45 minutes. I'm really curious about the real
Hmm.
time of when that happens. Second, have you never seen the show before? Do you not know this happens at least once a season? I mean, it's not shocking. It happens pretty much every group date. Someone does it. So it's not, that would it annoy me? Probably. But then people lose focus and they just become transfixed on that and that person. It could be annoying, but yeah, you've never seen the show. You don't know someone's going to do that. Get over it. Like,
Yeah, this
move on.
happened in Jen season. Do you remember one of the early
Every
group
season.
dates when Devin pulled her
Yeah.
away to go to like a chocolate shop or something? And so, yeah, obviously you see it happen all the time. And so I want to talk about the temper tantrums when we get to to after the
Okay.
game. But yeah, there were some temper tantrums for sure. At the end of the conversation with Zoe, they're standing on the rooftop. They have not, according to the edit anyway, said anything of meaning to each other, if anything at all. And then at the end, he says, "I really enjoyed this conversation a lot." So I thought, did I miss something? I'm
Did
actually
we not
asking you
do
that.
something? Yeah. Yeah.
That's not rhetorical. Did I miss something?
Not that we saw, unless they're having little chats while they're walking up the stairs, waiting for them to set up the shot. There seemed to be nothing of any interest going on whatsoever. It actually seemed a little awkward to me when they were
It was
standing there.
definitely awkward. Yeah, the standing by the elevator. I mean, first of all, if I'm the bachelor and a guy pulls me and wants to put me in an elevator, I'm sending
Yeah,
him home. I'm not going in an
because
elevator.
because Amy has a fear of elevators. So yes, working on it though.
So working on it. They finally come down. Jesse interrupts the date, so none of the other women get a shot at the free throw. And then they break them into teams. There's the yellow team and the purple team. And one of the things that I did think was funny is that the producers put all of the tall women on the
Yeah.
purple team and they put all the short women on the yellow team. It was a little bit set up, maybe,
Yes.
for the purple
Yes.
team to win.
Maybe. And they annihilated them.
How do you feel about a sports date as a woman?
I don't, the sports date was fine. I hate it when they get really physical.
Me too.
I don't like that. Where it's almost, some kind of sumo wrestling. I thought, yeah, Zoe, maybe kind of being an asshole, but then Allie Joe, and when she just like goes up and pushes her, like, I'm sorry. That wasn't her just trying to grab the ball. That was really aggressive. And I did not like that
Yeah,
at
Peter
all.
yelled out loud, "What? That's a foul! Hard
Yeah.
foul! Hard
And
foul!"
so
But
did
the ref,
Jesse and Grant. They were
yeah, but
yelling
the
foul, foul, foul.
but the refs, they had refs, and the refs didn't
Yeah.
call anything. And there
I guess
is
they
actually something too, like I guess because it's sports, it doesn't matter. But you can't just in life go up and just push someone down. Um, I thought that was. I know Ali Joe was mad at Zoe, and she wanted to be aggressive about it. But yeah, I was super turned off by that. I
I
thought,
would, if I was him, I would have been so turned off by that.
yeah. I do not like a sports date because some of these, I don't like how physical they make the women get. And I know that there are some women that don't mind this. They play rugby. It's just not for me. I don't want to hit another woman. I don't want to be, actually, I don't want to be competing.
And I think Zoe says that, and it really bothers me, something about it being a competition. I think if you approach the show that way, you're doomed. If you're the guy, the woman, it's not supposed to be a competition. You're supposed to see if you have a connection with this person. And yeah, you want to stand out and you want to put your best foot forward, but it's not a competition. Really. It shouldn't be, at least. And so as soon as she said that, it's like, oh, that's her angle. It's a
That's
competition
her
because
angle.
yeah, yeah, and then you're kind of doomed, I think. Don't you?
Like, yeah, I think they should be more, and we'll talk about this maybe in just a second when we get to after the game. I'm waiting for them to be focused on their relationship with the Bachelor, not just this season, but any season. But they do all tend to get caught up in drama. And this is again, is this like is this a producer stepping in? We don't know, but it would be nice if they didn't look at it as a competition. If they looked at it as like, I'm really trying to get to know this person because they all say they want to get married. They're a little older. The only thing that
Mhm.
Grant has talked about, Jesus, how many times has he mentioned, I just want kids? It's like, we
Yeah,
get it. All right. We know you want
yeah.
kids. We know you want a wife. That's why you're here. You don't need to say it so much. In the end, neither team is very good at this game. There was lots of Peter noticed this, not me. There was lots of traveling, the
Yeah.
women just grabbing the ball and running across the court. Fingernails are flying off right and left. I have a
And
question for you.
one cried. Someone cried about their finger. Was it Juliana? What
It
was
was
that her name?
Juliana.
Like, oh, I thought that was pathetic. She's
Well, they
crying
have
over
all
him.
the time in the world in the house. They don't have phones, television, or books. It's like
Yeah.
you go home and you do your nails, and it will be just fine.
Yes. Yes.
Did you notice that there are fewer outrageously long fake eyelashes this season?
Yes. Yes. I noticed. I thought about that again last night because I forgot to mention it last week. But yes, thank God. There's
Yes.
more glitter lotion. More glitter lotion.
The eyelashes have been replaced with glitter lotion.
Yes. But less big, bad, false eyelashes. Thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
So Chloe gets the MVP. Chloe, super cute. I really like
Yes.
her vibe. She just seems like somebody I'd want to be friends with. She's beautiful, obviously. She's a model. And she takes her shots. Talk about taking your shot. She plants a kiss on him. Yeah.
And can we talk about she's a plus size model?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, what is she? A size 10? Maybe?
Maybe. I bet she's 8.
Maybe. I bet she's an 8, and that's considered plus size. That's just no bueno. I have a friend who's a model, and she got asked to do plus size, and she was a size 8. And she said, no, because I'm a size 8, and I won't do plus size. And not because she was offended, because she was like, no, I'm not going to put that out there, that being a size 8 is a plus size. I'm a normal woman. So, yeah. Anyways, I had to, yes, address that.
I do think she and Grant have a little bit of a connection, or I feel like I see that later. So I'm happy that he's hopefully finding some of the women that I feel like are like reasonable,
Hmm.
kind,
Hmm.
instead of the drama llamas.
Yes.
Okay, so then we go to after the game. They have a cocktail party. Grant pulls Chloe to be the first kind of like mini one-on-one within this group date, and she says to him, I think you're here for all the right reasons, but she also realizes that that's such a cliche and such a trope, which I thought was nice. And then she
Mhm.
uses another one, which we heard from Suzanne in the later daters: a season, a reason, a lifetime. She's like,
Mhm.
Chloe's a little bit full of cliches.
I guess,
And then they
yeah,
kiss.
that's right. Yes, they kissed. Yeah. Yeah. He kissed one, two, three, four, five, six women.
Oh my God.
So what was the cringiest moment of that date for you? The first group date?
The cringiest moment for me might have been the next date with Natalie. This is the 40th time that Grant says he wants kids. Natalie's right up, his alley. She's thinking the same thing. But this is their second conversation they are having. And she starts talking about what their kids would look like. And I know that
Mm.
Bachelor is is like fast tracked, but I'm sorry, it is too early to say our kids would be so cute. And Grant says, "Oh, I think she'd make a great wife and a great mother." But you've talked to her 20 minutes, split between, I mean, for the entire time you've been there, tops. A little
Right.
cringy for me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Zoe, sorry, gonna jump.
Yes?
Zoe has her one-on-one. Then Allie Joe interrupts because she's still pissed off
Yes.
and bitter about the basketball. And then Zoe doesn't let that go. And she's hiding behind that weird pillar of books. I was like, what was that pillar of books? And then she goes and interrupts again. And so it was like, okay, Zoe definitely in the making to be the villain in this situation. And that, again, I thought that was in really bad taste. I think that was stupid. And like, she did not need to go interrupt again. I thought that was bad.
So Grant leaves her on the couch and says, "I'll be back." This is what he says to her. So she sits there. She doesn't go anywhere. What Grant
For
should
a
have
minute.
said was, yes, for as far as we know, it's for a minute.
As far as
But
we know, it's a minute.
then the producers, I'm going to say this is a producer
Yeah.
manipulated moment, put them on a couch directly behind the bookshelf where she can hear everything they're saying. And so Zoe's excuse when she's lurking around the back of that bookshelf, it is weird. She can feel that what she's doing isn't right because she kind of backs off and then she goes over to the side. And then her excuse is, "Let me just say goodnight to him." I don't know. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to take your exit. Do not go say goodnight. However, Allie Joe, I'm so sick of this. I'm sorry, anybody that's from New York that's listening. I'm so tired of people when they're from New York or New Jersey telling you that they're from New York or New Jersey. It happens in the tasting room. I'm about to put a sign on the door of the tasting room that says, "If you're from New York, we can let it come out naturally during conversation." There is no need to tell me because Allie Joe's like, "Oh, I'm from Jersey and you're not gonna blah, blah, blah with me." And it's like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna do anything.
It's like when people go to the restaurant and they say, this is really good. And I'm from San Francisco. And you're like,
The San Francisco people, it's the same.
it's so weird. And it's so weird how people say, well, San Francisco and LA, they have a rivalry. And I'm like, do they? I don't think so. I think LA could really care less. But I think San Francisco does. It's
I
like
was gonna
the
say it's very
older,
one-sided. Yeah.
right? It's very one-sided. And I
It,
thought Zoe, if I was Grant, like I wouldn't be attracted to that. I and that was very competitive. So far it seems like Allie Joe and Zoe are both very competitive and that's what it's about. Grant kind of gets lost in that,
yeah,
I
he
think.
does. I will say, I mean, Zoe's beautiful. The entire time he was talking to her, he was licking his lips.
Yeah.
I was looking at that like, dude, stop it. She sat down with him because she was like, "I want to know if we have an emotional connection." And so she says this to him. I know we can be physically attracted to each other, but do we have an emotional connection? And he's just not, it's like he doesn't even, he's like, "Oh yeah, we do." But he's like mouth licking.
And Allie Joe did say like I barely got to talk to him. Do these
Yeah,
girls have earpieces in? I wonder if they do, or it's just the producers on the side. Um, hmm. Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
I thought that, yeah,
We'll do a little research
yeah,
on that.
yes. And then so for me, one of the cringiest was he massages Juliana. Uh,
Juliana.
he massages her hand with oil. I don't know. I didn't
And he
like that.
kisses her.
Yeah.
He kisses
And he kisses
Juliana
her.
for
And he
sure.
kisses her.
Or what ends up really, I guess, moving him was Natalie, that she'd be a
Yeah.
great mom. And so she gets the I love the kids rose, is what I'll call it for
Mhm.
this.
Yes.
Was she the one that talked to the kid on the sideline and
Yes.
said, clench your fist? That was actually kind of cute and really
She was
sweet.
good. She was good with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that Natalie is staying, and then we move into our one-on-one. This is first one-on-one for Grant with his first impression rose, Alex. Again, just to recap, she's 27. She's a pediatric speech pathologist. They go to the Beverly Center, which in Los Angeles is a mall, a very famous mall, and they take over the Beverly Center. Were you like, are they at the Beverly Center? What time
I
is it?
wrote down budget cuts.
I know.
Budget cuts question mark? Like what? No helicopter, no like it was before the fire, so like no beach, like you can't go to reel in or something and like walk on the beach. The mall's closed down and it's closed. So no, you can't even get a Cinnabon bon. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I actually would very much like a date in the Beverly Center. Don't you think if we had stores open, if you and I were just, let's say we had a girls' date, we went to the Beverly Center, they do lots of things. They do shopping, they do the big ping pong, they make ice cream with sprinkles, they take over the PA system, they kiss until a bed breaks. I thought it was like, yes, cheap. But also that's my kind of date. I don't want to get in a helicopter. I don't want to bungee jump. I don't
It
want to
was
play
not my
basketball.
date. It was
Okay.
not. Yeah, that okay. You can have that date, and they have escalators, so that would have worked for you.
It was perfect. He came
You
down on
didn't
the
have to take an
escalator like
elevator.
a,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Greek god. Um,
I have to say, I don't even like the Beverly Center. I, even when it's open, I don't go there. I go to maybe Westfield. I like the open air. I don't like the inside shopping malls. So yeah,
yeah,
no, that.
The Grove is way better, but during Christmas, I always find myself at the Beverly Center at least
Mm,
once because they
mm.
have lots of stuff. One of the things that Alex asks him is, what is one thing that makes you who you are? What do you think about this question? And how would you answer it? Is there another question that you would ask someone to get to know them quickly?
Oh, I missed that. I had a glass of wine and some tequila while I was watching it, so I think you had
I
took
did
better
not.
notes.
I was clear-headed.
I don't know. What about you? Blah, blah, blah. What about you?
So what I was thinking of when you're 27, there might be one thing that makes you who you are. You could say this university, or I had a really good teacher that changed my life. By the time you're in your 50s, there's a million things that have made me who I am. Sometimes I'm at the tasting room and I'm standing behind the bar and people will say, "So, how'd you get into wine?" And there's 20 years ago that was an easy question, or even 30 years ago. Now I don't know. It's you wake up and one day you've just been doing your job for a long time and you've kind of developed into this person based on knowing a lot of other people and working on yourself and through therapy. So I guess my point is I don't really love this question. To ask someone a question about who they are, I might ask them about their upbringing. Tell me a little bit about your
Mm,
childhood. Because at that
right.
age, that's really important. Are your parents together? Are they divorced? Did you grow up in a religious household or not? How was, what was it like for you to go to school? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What was your major in college? Those are things that are
You
like,
get along with your mother.
do you get along with your mother? Yeah. These are ways that
Yeah.
help you figure out how the man is built. Is putting puzzle pieces together. It's not one thing.
Right. I think it's a question that someone can have an answer, but it doesn't really mean a lot to
Mhm.
me. Is it an icebreaker maybe kind of question? But you don't really get to know that person that much unless they really, really open up. They just have like a big story and they tell you and they reveal some, I don't know. But otherwise, it's just kind of like an icebreaker question to me.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
not very deep. Before we move on to group date two, just overall, what did you think about their connection? Do you think they're gonna go the long haul?
I think I think they'll go a long haul. I think they have a really nice connection. They seem to really enjoy each other. And when he was playing the piano
Oh my
and
God.
singing to her, she just seemed really just soaking it up and really appreciate it. And she seemed to really enjoy it. And I thought she's smitten when he was singing to her.
Do you really think he made that song up on the spot? I do not.
Probably not, but she was buying it. So,
That's all that matters. We are, I think, going to see Grant sing a lot because speaking of Grant singing or getting on stage, so they go on to the second group date. It is at the Bellwether in downtown LA, where
Mhm.
you and I have also been. I feel like maybe not many times, but three times, twice to see Princess.
Twice to Princess, I also saw another band there. I love the Bellwether. I would have been into that date.
Me too. Did you know who Mario was? They walk in and Mario is serenading them with "Love You, Love You." You ever heard that song? Did you know who he was?
No, and so one of it, I was looking at, okay, so what are some producer moments? And I was like, well, some of the producer moments is that everyone seemed to know that song and who he was. There's no way all of those women walked in and they, one, knew who he was, and two, knew the words to that song. There's no way. So the producers definitely, I think, said, his name is Mario, and here's a song and listen to it. And then they
You
walked in.
think that the producers had all of these women, not knowing who might go on the group date, listen to the song before?
There's no way all of them
That's
knew who he was
conspiratorial.
and knew the lyrics to that song. I am not buying that. There is no way. I feel like it's all about promotion, right? These artists.
Yes.
I feel like most of the time people don't really know who they are, and they know because they're told before they go in for the big reveal of the performer.
Well, they have to follow in Mario's footsteps because they have to write a song. I didn't understand at the beginning that they were performing together as a girl
Mm,
group. They take a dance lesson. Oh, some of the
yeah.
dancing is really, really tough. Now, Rebecca is really into this date. She really likes music. And then Dina says,
Mhm,
I don't even know what creativity is. I think she's an attorney. I've never been
mhm.
creative in my entire life. To me, I'd be like, okay, there's no rose there. It's time to say goodbye.
But she did okay.
She actually did okay. And I think some of these women sell themselves short sometimes. Another woman said, I have no talent. I can't sing. I can't dance. I'm just all vibes. And I thought that's just, I don't even know what that means. What do you mean? You don't have any
Yeah.
talent but your vibes, or who's impressed by that? I'm not really impressed by that. I did feel like maybe it's starting to feel like, is Grant here to promote his musical career? Because he does a little rap singing. I'm wondering if he knows that no one has ever gotten famous from The Bachelor outside of being like an influencer or somebody like Nick Viall who started a podcast. I don't think this is going to
Yeah.
jumpstart a music career.
I don't think the singing is gonna go far for him.
I don't think it is either.
I'm not like, wow, he's so talented and good. He really needs to pursue this. So hopefully that's not his end goal because I don't see it going well for him. Uh,
Yeah.
but who was your favorite of all those women and their performing? And
Bailey was so bad, right? She was out of tune, but bitch does a Kyle Richards split like I've never seen. She says she's a performer at heart, but I couldn't tell doing what because the singing was super pitchy. So I would put Bailey at the bottom of the
okay,
performance list. And Rebecca comes up at the end and she can kind of sing, but she's so nervous that her voice is really it's like very vibrato-y,
yeah, yeah,
but she has
yeah.
Mrs. Ellis on her back, which I thought was cute. So I'm putting Rebecca as my top performer and Bailey as my bottom performer. What about you?
I think I liked uh, Carolina, right?
Oh,
I
you
think I
did? You
liked
like that she
her.
rides him into the sunset
No, but
at the end?
she that's later, right? That's not the very. So I know, and all of a sudden I feel like she's straddling him and making out with him. But was that at the end of the song or was that later?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's when he picks her. And then they get a dance together.
Yes, I liked hers. I think that the person who's usually kind of talking a big game are the people who usually don't do well. They're overconfident and then they go up there and they freeze. So, yes, Rebecca, she kind of was like, I'm going to do great. And then she didn't do great.
Yeah. So the winner, that's Carolina. The winner gets to get serenaded by Mario and gets to dance with Grant, which is the worst prize. It's so awkward. You're dancing on stage in front of other people. And yes, then she kind of rides him, throws him down. I thought the kissing was a little long and aggressive. I wouldn't have minded it so much if she had just toned it down a little bit. And I say that because I was like, is he into this? There had to be a lot of tongue there. And then we got Rose crying in the back. Rose says she isn't sure that she can get there, right? Which is my least favorite Bachelor phrase.
Yeah.
It's day one. She can't get there.
Yeah.
No one's expecting you to get anywhere right now.
Yeah. It's it's like, first of all, again, has no one ever watched a show?
Right.
This happens all the time. Uncomfortable, yes. Did it go on too long? Yes. Could Grant also have pulled back a little bit? Yes, he could have. Do they both? No. They're like locked into each other. And then it becomes the drama llama. And Carolina makes it all about everyone's comfortable because she got the rose. But it's like, no, they're not uncomfortable because you got the rose. And it's like, no, it's because you straddled him and made out with him in front of everybody. And it made them uncomfortable and awkward. And then for Grant, like, oh, I picked up on something. It's a little awkward. And it's like, well, yeah, you just knocked out with this other woman in front of all the other women. So yeah, they're a little uncomfortable. Like, it's not shocking.
He seems surprised. And then Carolina, when Grant goes off with Rebecca, Rebecca had to feel pretty nice because he picked, he called her. He said, Rebecca, come with me. And then when he goes to talk to her, she kind of sounds like a therapist. Like he's like, what's going on? Tell me. And I thought the way she talked to him was so thoughtful. I just really liked her approach. She didn't throw anyone under the bus, to use another bachelorism. She just talked about it very, very reasonably. But then Rebecca comes back and, they said, what did you talk to him about? And she said, well, the energy being off. And Carolina goes, what? The energy's off? Like, she's completely clueless. And then when she figures out it's about her, she was like, well, I mean, this was supposed to be a good night for me. And now I just have to feel guilty because of everyone else. And she's also seen the show. She's free to do whatever she wants, but you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. She's seen the show. He's seen the show. You got to put your big girl pants on and just like not lose focus and get into all this whole drama. And I liked what Rebecca said, but I felt like she could have been a little bit more direct about it at the same time. I felt like she kind of worked around it a little bit more, and she could have said, well, it was a little uncomfortable seeing you making out with this other person, and you're allowed, and this is all expected, but it's obviously all new to us. And
yeah, it doesn't mean there aren't consequences is the wrong word, but it doesn't mean it doesn't make people feel some type of way. Another thing that the kids say.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked was Latia called Grant out for saying the previous time that he got a little one-on-one time with her, what he said to her is, I bet you never get told no because you're beautiful. And she says that triggered her because she says, I get told no all the time. And then another cringe moment for me, Grant starts wiping the tears away on her face. This is a new thing that has started on The Bachelor. I feel like with the previous Bachelor, I don't even remember who it was now. Oh my God. They start wiping tears away. Don't touch my face when I'm crying. People did it with Jen too.
They do it, and then men hold women's face all the time on camera. And are they being told to do that? I can't think of my husband like going to kiss me and holding my face. Like, is that a producer thing? Okay, so when you go in to kiss her, hold her face. Like, who does that?
No,
Really?
I think they're learning it. I think they're learning it from each other. Like on these, I think they watch other seasons and they're like, oh, maybe I should hold the face, and oh, I should wipe the tears away. Especially when they see a bachelor who's really Yes. When they see somebody who's really well liked. I think those seasons sometimes get studied by the new people. Like what did they do so that social media didn't come after them and supported them? Oh, look, he's supporting her because he's wiping her tears. No, he has his hands on her face when she's in a really vulnerable moment and get them off. That's all.
I do think that on the first date, when Grant says it, in the moment, he doesn't acknowledge it, but I feel like you can see him catch himself saying that and kind of like, for a second. Like I felt like he said it and he almost wishes he could take it back, because as soon as she brings it up, it wasn't like, oh, I don't remember saying that. Like he knows what she's talking about. Right. And so to me, it looks like for a second when he says it the first time, it registers like, and he cringed at himself a little bit. And then he took accountability, and there was no like, oh, did I say that? Good for her for saying it as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. So at the rose ceremony, Alicia, Ella, and Rebecca went home. Any surprises for you?
Alicia, I think I named her as being one of the top 3 or 4. I was really surprised that
We both
she,
did.
yeah. I wasn't surprised about the luxury host, Ella, sorry.
Ella falls down to the ground crying
Yeah.
with the women, falls down before she goes to say goodbye to Grant. And I feel for her, but save that for the hotel room.
Yeah.
Leave with some dignity, leave with like, it's all right. I'm here for the experience. Everybody has to go home but one person. Everyone seems to forget this.
And it's not after hometowns.
Let's get to our categories, I guess I should say.
Okay.
We've already mentioned some cringy moments, but Bailey was crying all day. Then she cried to him, and then she said she felt bad for crying to him. She was having a little Ashley I vibes.
Yes, yes. But you know what? It made me like her a little bit more.
Yes.
Because she wasn't being grandiose. And so to me, it made her more vulnerable and likable. She was crying because she was having almost like a little panicky stuff. And it was the whole thing was overwhelming her. So actually for me, it made me like her a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than the first
and she stays. So he must have liked her a little more too. Any thoughts on best and worst dress this episode?
No, the dolphin shorts are back.
They're back.
There wasn't as many dresses with the scarves. I think there was about 3 women wearing the thin scarf around their necks with the dress.
Yeah, Ella's turquoise dress at the rose ceremony, very challenging for me. The material seemed weird. The scarf around the neck was weird. It looked like it should be on that show Palm Royale with Kristen Wiig.
They all are kind of dressing the same. Sometimes you have one person that looks the most fashionable. Like Michelle, she used to always look great. She had there's a few Cynthia Raleigh's daughter, when she was on, she always had a great look. And this time they all seem cookie cutter, and a lot of them aren't as offensive as some of the outfits, but there's no one really standing out of like, wow, that's a great dress either.
Yeah, I thought Carolina's pink lame outfit, I know they all had some pink lame going in that show, but that was very challenging for me. And then Latia had this seafoam dress that was a little like off the shoulder thing that was strapless, gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
She is beautiful. I have to go back and look at her dress. There's nobody that stood out and like, ooh, I love that dress. There wasn't anybody.
So you mentioned earlier that you think Carolina is going to be the villain. I think it's going to be Ali Jo setting herself up for villain status.
I think it's going to be Zoe, maybe Ali Jo, and there's going to be some Carolina stuff.
Okay.
And Carolina, she just seemed a little clueless, and we'll see if she keeps going. Zoe seems really competitive and like screw you and keeps interrupting people. So if I have to really predict, I would say Ali Jo and Zoe end up on the 2-on-1 date.
2-on-1. Okay, good. I like a prediction. Should we write that down? Ali Jo and Zoe 2-on-1. Okay. I don't really have anything else. You got anything else?
Yeah. Nope.
All right. I gotta go to work.
All right. So do
Some of us have jobs around here.
Yeah, some of us do.
All right. I do not know what I'm going to do with this mop before I go to the tasting room. I have to go figure something out. Okay. Goodbye.
You look great. I love your haircut.
Okay. Love you.
Okay. I love you. Bye.